morning, everyone, and welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the badass Buddha Lori Monaco coming to you this morning. Happy Tuesday. Gladiator Guru will be here shortly. She ended up working an overnight shift and was rushing home. So she said, start the show, and she will be here shortly. So good morning, everyone. We hope you had a wonderful weekend. And look at that, Tiffany. You are the first person to jump on. So welcome, Tiffany Bryan. We're so happy that you're here. And it's cold in Baltimore, huh? It's actually cold here in Connecticut right now. It's about, according to this, it's like 43 degrees or something like that. But it's supposed to go up very rapidly to the high 50s, I think low 60s maybe. But it's very sunny. It's supposed to be like that here until I believe it is Friday. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday is supposed to rain. So, but who knows? They always change the weather so quickly. But thank you so much for everyone for being here this morning. Let us know how your weekend was. And let us know if you have been keeping up with the assignments that we have been giving you. We've been giving you a lot of assignments over these last 3.5 months, almost 4 months. I mean, look at us. We're at the end of April. This is the last week of April. This is just absolutely crazy. I remember when we were just starting the year and starting this project in the first quarter of it and being really excited about how it was going to progress. And now we are ending the first month of the second quarter. And the second quarter, which is, once again, what's possible. That is our second quarter here on Viva Cafe con Leche. And the month of April is understanding and capabilities. And we're going to get ready to enter the month of May, which is about beliefs. And this is a really, really important one because this is the one that prevents us from doing the things that we want to do. This is the one that stops us and gets in our way and causes self-sabotage. It could also be the stuff that actually gets us going, but it's all about our deep set beliefs. And we're going to talk about why that is, why we have them, and how to get rid of the negative beliefs and replace them with more positive. So it's going to be an absolutely fantastic second quarter, all leading towards the third quarter, which is taking action. So for those of you that out there that have been reaching your goals, but maybe not completely, you feel like you really want to up it, this is the year to do that. This is what we're doing. We're setting you up to understand yourself better so that when the summer comes, you are ready to step up and take action. Most people seem to do better, when the weather changes and when they're especially when it comes to health and wellness, weight loss, things like that. Once the weather's nicer, they want to be outside more. So we're hoping that this is leading you into pushing you for that summer and make the summer magical, or start to create places to go, go visit, go adventure. So that's the goal here to get you to do that. So anyway, Gladiator Girl will be here shortly. Let's go ahead and don't forget to share, follow. We want everybody to know that we're here, and we're going to get going. So while Gladiator Guru is making her way here, I'm going to go ahead and do the intention. I'm going to set the intention. I'm going to do the mantra. This way, when she comes on, we can just get right into talking about our topic today, which is Work It Girl. So we're going to be talking about what you need to do, what you need to be doing and begin to do to apply everything that we have learned and over the last 4 months. And notice I said we have learned, not that we have taught you, because as we learn things, we share it. And yes, it is sort of teaching, but we're learning just as much from you as you're learning from us. And every time we have conversations and you all put up comments, it just helps propel us into a new direction. So we're all learning here. All right, so here we go. Let's set our intention. As always, on Viva Cafe con Leche, we want to be intentional. We want you to go about your day being intentional. So what is your intention is up to you. We can't put that in there for you. We could. We could sit there and say, we want you to be intentional today with this. But we would much rather you decide what you want to be today, each and every day. But just be intentional. Intentional just means it's a reminder is that you go with a purpose. So set your intention for today, whatever it is. Say, I want to have a really wonderful day today. If I want to be strong today. If you're like trying to lose weight or you're worrying about your health, I want to eat right today. So I'm going to set the intention that I'm going to eat right today. I'm going to eat very healthy. I'm going to not eat that much. I want to set the intention I'm going to get out today and walk around. Even though it's cold, I'm going to bundle up, or if it's too hot, I'm just going to dress appropriately. My intention is to be in a great mood today, be kind to others, be giving to others. So set your intention for whatever that is today, and know that you can always change your intention. If you feel that you've met your intention for this morning and it's noon and you're like, well, I already did my walk, I'm eating well, I'm doing well so far, you can set another intention. Don't limit yourself. So set your intention for whatever that is and back it up with gratitude. Gratitude is such a key player. It's going within and thinking about what you are thankful for, what you are grateful in your life for. Even when your life is not going as you want it to, there's always something to be grateful for, or grateful about, or grateful to, or somebody to be grateful for about. So think about that. Just even if you start to veer into a bad place today, just stop for a moment and say, okay, I'm grateful for this. I'm grateful for this. Maybe I'm grateful for this experience that's happening today. I was having a rough time logging on this morning, and the first thing that pops into my head is that, somebody let me know that Mercury's in retrograde, and I'm not a big fan of that stuff because I feel like it sort of just gives the excuse, and then everything that goes wrong, we're going to blame Mercury in retrograde. But it was funny because I put my computer on and it's just cycling. It's cycling. It's not finding me. It's not giving me, to punch in the password. And I'm going, oh my God, Mercury's in retrograde. And then I said, okay, that's enough. Stop. So I closed my laptop back and then I opened it back up again. And then it did it again. And I moved a little closer and it found me and that was it. So we were good. So you set your intention, go with gratitude. I was grateful that I said to myself, I'm grateful that I have the knowledge to close my laptop up and open it back up again. And I'm grateful that I have another laptop in case that doesn't work. And I'm grateful that I have a phone in case that other laptop didn't work. So there we go. There's always something to be grateful for. Okay, now let's do our mantra and then let's get to talking. Okay. So the mantra, say it loud and say it proud. And you're going to have to echo. You're going to have to say it really loud so I can hear you from where you are. So because okay, we're back. See what I mean? Mercury's in retrograde. Maybe that's what's causing it. So anyway, I froze for a little bit and then I'm trying to figure out how to get rid of some tabs so that my thing works better. Okay. Mantra, say it loud, say it proud. I am a disruptor. I am unapologetically courageous. I am spiritually grounded. I am magically orgasmic. And I keep it real. Put that mantra somewhere in your house so that you know that it's there and you could see it every day and you could say it every day, even the days that you are not here on Viva Cafe con Leche. So this is an important mantra. I mean, think about the words for a moment. I am a disruptor. I'm not saying that you're a disruptor in the world, like, well, maybe you are, but that you're a rude disruptor. You're a disruptor in your own life. You're constantly challenging yourself. That's what that means. You are unapologetically courageous. You are standing up for who you are. You will not apologize for being who you are and evolving and growing. You are spiritually grounded, meaning that you are connected to a higher power and you are grounded to the ground with that higher power and self. You are magically orgasmic. You are magical. You create that orgasmic feeling in you, and it doesn't have to be a sexual feeling that we're talking about. You create that. and you keep it real. You are who you are. You are growing every single day. You are learning about yourself every single day. You are owning your truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You are stepping into the person that you are meant to be, always, always evolving, always on the path to enlightenment, always healing. And that is the most important thing, because who you are today is not the person that you were a month ago. And who you are today is not the person you will be a month from now, because you keep growing. We all make bad choices. We all make good choices. We all look at ourselves and say, this is who I am right now. I like this part of me. I don't like this part of me. The beauty is that as long as we keep healing and learning, we have the ability to change. We have the ability to evolve and become a better version of ourselves, because we're learning from everything that we've done. And you don't just learn from the bad choices, the mistakes. Although I firmly believe, I say this all the time, that there's very few mistakes in life. Most of them are just really bad choices. But it's not just about learning from them, it's learning from even the good stuff. What worked in that good stuff? Can I do better than that? What else can I do? Especially when you're coming from a place of service, when you decide that I'm a person that likes to give, I like to serve others, I like to help. What can I do better? And when you come from that place, make sure that you're coming from that place, from that inner, that heart connection, as opposed to, I have to do this because I am feeling something that's not within me, because that's coming from a place of lack, and you don't want to come from that place. Good morning. Here she is. Good
Good
morning. So
morning. Good morning.
introduce yourself. We did the mantra and we set the intention. We could start our conversation. So introduce yourself.
Hola, mi gente, aquí con la Margarita, your gladiator guru. I'm sorry that I am late, but here I am. Happy Tuesday, Tiffany Bryan, cold in Baltimore. Beautiful here in Florida. Thank you for holding the fort down.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I didn't even get a chance to share because I was too busy talking, but that's okay. I'm going to share right now. We're glad you're here. You look lovely. For somebody who worked an overnight shift, you look pretty darn good.
I had to take a shower, so that's why my hair's soaking wet. But here we are, which is a beautiful thing. Tiffany Bryan, thank you for always showing up. Let me see. Work it, girl.
All right, I got to close some apps here because I have a feeling that we are just uh, my internet is funky this morning, and I was telling everybody that somebody had to let me know that Mercury's in retrograde.
To the 15th. Until
So
the 15th.
this morning I was having trouble um, getting onto stuff. Like it was cycling. Like it wasn't finding me, my laptop. And the first thing that popped in my head was, oh my gosh, Mercury's in retrograde. And I'm not a big fan of buying into that a lot of times, like that just, I don't like to always give that.
Why is that?
Um, I don't know. Like I kind of feel that sometimes like we're so quick to find something else, and sometimes it's just maybe you put in something wrong. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I can't log on. And mine was just I wasn't close enough, and it just wasn't finding me, and it didn't want to go to the alternate, which is put it the password. So like I just moved a little closer, and it worked. But I don't know. I just, because I've heard people go, oh, Mercury must be in retrograde because everything's going wrong in my household, and it wasn't like, but and I went to look it up, and I'm like, well, it's not. So what's the other alternative? But
It's not. Yeah, it's up to the 15th. Just like the moon reflects on the women's hormones, just like God created the stars, the sky, the earth, everything else. I think everything is one. To me, they're like different dimensions, different energies. I'm not one to study the natal chart or the birth chart or anything like that. But sometimes when you think back to why was I feeling this? Did everything seem to be going that way? And then you find out, oh, Mercury's in retrograde. It's like the light bulb. Like you can literally see the light bulb above your head. Like, damn. It's weird, right? It's just sometimes it's too much. There we go. I posted.
I know I'm doing it too.
And
well, regardless, today we're gonna be talking about Work It Girl. So I was asking everybody before you came on, if they've been doing the work that we asked them to do, if they're answering the questions, how has it been for them? Because we are ending our first month. This is the last week of our first month of the second quarter. So reflecting back, how has everybody been doing with regards to their how has everybody been doing with regards to their working on themselves, and setting themselves up and pushing through? Are they just listening to this, or are they actually doing the work? So we're hoping that you contact us through messaging to say, yes, I've been doing the work, or I've been struggling, or I don't know what to do. Understand something, that if you are struggling to do the work, you're not holding yourself accountable. Like you'll be on, oh, that sounds really good, I'm going to do that, and then you just don't bother. Then you might need some extra help. And that is, Gladiator Guru and I both do that. We're both coaches. And so our job is to work with people that don't, they're not great at self-discipline. It's wonderful when you do it yourself. And we are so proud to be with you along that journey when you're doing it yourself. But for those that can't, that's what we do. That's what we're here for. So ask yourself, because this is it. It's like every year goes by. Look, we're ending the 4th month of 2023. We're entering the 5th month of 2023. It is going by so rapidly. And before you know it, you're going to blink and it's going to be 5 years. And for me, 5 years is putting me close to the big 6-0. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what? I've got to make this happen this year. I've got to make the changes that I've wanted to make in my life, the last bit of changes this year. Thoughts, Gladiator Guru?
Absolutely. I think it's a quote, and everywhere I've seen it, it says that it was Buddha, but it is, and from that I created my own. But his was, the biggest mistake humans make is believing that they have time, and we don't. It's like tomorrow never comes, because when you're at tomorrow, then you're thinking about the next day. And then when you reach the next day, you're thinking about the day after that. So it never comes. All we have is the now and the gumption to do what's in our hearts to do, without allowing anyone around to inhibit that, to just hinder your dreams. Like, how many of us have been so angry at life, at God, at people all around, because we didn't do what we wanted, because we listened to the naysayers? So mine is, life is short, but it is the longest journey you would travel, because it's all you got. So it's we can't keep waiting. We can't, like, however long it took us to reach where we're at today, be grateful. That's your every morning gratitude prayer, right? That however long it took you, it doesn't matter if you and whomever started at the same time and they make 7 figures and own 3 mansions in different states. That doesn't matter. And you're still living in an apartment complex. It doesn't matter. What matters is you're still complete, you're whole, and maybe whatever delayed you, whatever detour you took, you're here now. So let's start. I love that saying, and every time I see it on Pinterest, or if I'm reading somebody's post, it always puts a smile on my face. It says, start where you are right now with what you have. So don't wait until you have X amount of dollars in your bank account. Don't wait until you're wearing a particular size pants or size dress. Don't wait, don't wait, don't wait. Start exactly where you're at. Like people like, I want to open a business, but I need to have blah, blah, blah. Guess what's going to happen? Like Badass Buddha said, 5 years is going to go by because life happens. Your car's going to break. Don't you ever, when you start a new job, when you wake up the next day, either your battery's dead or you got a flat, it's something always happens. And I know anybody can relate to something like that. So start where you are. Like I heard somebody say, I want to open a business, but I got to learn how to save money. I got to just do it. Like Nike could never have had that to me is the greatest slogan of all times.
I think so too. I agree with you.
Just do it. Because if not now, when? And if not you, who?
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
So if going back to the question that the Badass Buddha just said, hi Petey, I'm happy to see you. Nan, look at, oh my God, good morning.
I know Nan was on this morning.
I know. So, it's, have you done the work? Have you listened to the questions that we asked on this platform that the Badass Buddha actually typed in, that you could have went back and read the comments and have the specific questions asked of you? Have you done the work? Like 8 people at the job bought my journal. And,
nice.
And they'll say something like my first litter of it. And one of the girls she's 20 and she's like, I need to buy another one. And I said, you're gonna give it to somebody? She's like, I already finished the first one, but I feel like I still need to learn me. I said, you're gonna redo it? She's like, I'm gonna redo it until you make another one. But she said that the main questions, the 3 questions that got her was, what's your favorite food? What's your favorite dessert? And there was another one, not the color. Oh, are you happy? And I said, why? She's like, because I never thought about what's my favorite food. And it brought me back to the workshop. But we don't think about what we like. We want to learn what everybody else likes.
Yeah.
And the questions that were posed to you guys on this platform was for you. Hi, Sylvia. It wasn't for, the same way you Google Cardi B or Karol G or, I don't know, whomever. The same way you want to learn your best friend's favorite meal, your lovers, your husbands, whomever. When do you take the time out for yourself? So these questions were for you. They were to you, for you. So, they got that hand emoji or say yay or nay. Let us know how many have actually done some of that, because it's good to know.
Well, and just in case you didn't, what we're going to do. So today's conversation is work it, girl. We're going to be talking about what that means, like what it means to work it. But just in case, on Thursday's show, that title is Asking the Right Questions. So we are going to collect all the questions that we have asked of you since January, and then add some. So there's going to be a whole, a massive amount of questions, because this quarter is about what's possible. And you can't understand what's possible until you learn to really fully understand yourself, understand what you're capable of, which is what this month is about. We're going to be talking about beliefs next month. And then after that, the final month for the quarter, we're going to be talking about behaviors and habits. And so we're going to be going into stuff that's uncomfortable for people, because we're going to be going head on with why we believe the way we believe. Why do we have the habits that we have? Why do we have the behaviors that we have? And then understanding them, and then understanding how to break them or rewire your brain. So it's really important to ask yourself the right questions. Those questions that are in Gladiator Guru's journal are really deep questions, even though they don't seem like it. It's the truth. It's like when somebody says, "Are you happy?" I've actually asked that question in workshops that I've taught before. And it's so interesting to watch people's facial expressions when you ask that question. You're
Yes.
like, "Are you happy?" And they're like, "Well, not every day." And I remember years ago when I did a workshop at a assisted living place, but it was open to the public. So there was a lot of people that came that were from there, but then there was a lot of people that came from outside. And it was a 3-part series. And the first part was about your brain and its capabilities. And this one lady was there, and she came to the first one. It was a 3-part series, and she came to the first one. She was 100 years old. I've told this story before, but I haven't told this in a while. And I got to chatting with her before we started, and I said, I met her, and because I like to do that before I start a workshop, and she, we were chatting away, and I happened to ask her, I'm like, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? And I was shocked. She didn't look 100 years old. She didn't sound it. She was very clear. Her voice, like, sometimes the voice starts to go too. No, she was just like, I would have never guessed it. And I was like, oh my God. So I said, listen, I have to ask you, you know, why are you coming to learn about your brain in this 3-part series? And she goes, no, I said, why are you coming to the workshops? It's like, you could sit, chill out, do whatever you want. You've done it all already. She goes, no, I want to learn about my brain. And I just thought that was so funny. Here she is 100 years old. So she came to that one, right? Then the second one she showed up for. So I remembered her, and we talked about that. We were talking about being happy, and I forgot what the next series was about. But I said to her, I asked if anybody was happy, and then I said, I'm going to put somebody on the spot here, and I said to her, I called her name, and I said, would you mind telling everybody? Are you comfortable telling everybody how old you are? She said, sure, and she said it, and everybody like clapped, and they said, and I said, in your whole life, were you happy every day? And I knew what she was going to say. That's why I put her on the spot. And she goes, yes, I was happy every day. And people like looked. She goes, I was happy every day. Not everything that happened during the day made me happy. She's like, but the end of my day, when I would go to sleep, was a good day. And that was so profound because that's exactly like we'll go to bed pissed off. We'll say it was such a shitty day today. But instead of saying that was a shitty thing that happened, but overall I'm happy. That's why when people say, no, I'm not happy, it's like, you're okay with that? You're okay with living your day like that every day? Go ahead, take the one up.
No, you're right. I think because, happiness is a choice. Okay. When you choose happiness, then you start filling your soul with joy. And I think that every moment of your day there's going to be disappointments. There's going to be moments where you just want to throw your hands up. But the bottom line is the in between those not so good moments, there's happiness because you're breathing, you can see where you're going, you can listen to the sounds around you, you can smell, you can taste, you're able to use your hands and your legs, and just any mishaps that might happen that might not make you feel happy for the day. The bigger picture is you end your day filled with gratitude and knowing you made the right choice to be happy. Because that is how you carry yourself. So no one can make you unhappy. People can, wound you. People can upset you, but it's really up to you as how much you want to tolerate. But to be happy every day, it's doable. Uh, People look at every day, no one can be happy every day because they're looking at 86,400 seconds of that day. That's 24 hours, yeah. You sleep, you're happy, right? When you're sleeping. Who gets mad because they're sleeping? So you're happy. You wake up, you got to start the day. The thing is that you can be happy every day, but you will have moments in the day where you may not be, but they're just moments. So the balance is there's negative and positive. We need to go through the negative moments to really be present in the positive ones. And if you are smart, you will be fully present in the negative ones too, because they're teachers. We are the students every day in life. So those negative moments are teaching you something, what not to repeat. It teaches you what you don't like, because what may be a bad moment for you may be a great experience for me. So we have to value the sweet and sour in life, but always choose to be happy through it all, because that is where we have clarity and direction. So when you're working anything out in your life, if you start the day being intentionally grateful, when those bad moments come, and they might come with people, it might come in places you were seeking something good and something did not good happen. If you chose to be happy throughout your day, when those moments come, it's easier to dismiss it, because everything nor everybody needs our full attention. We give it because whether we're nosy or because we know them, regardless, it's not about you. So again, you can be happy every day because it is your life, they are your moments, and it is your choice. That's holding yourself accountable to your day. And at the end of the day, when you're home and you're safe and you're getting ready to go to bed, reflect. Working it in today's thing, when you're working it, it's not like you are going to just during your waking hours. At the end of the day, when everything you could have possibly have accomplished throughout your day comes to a close, you reflect back on it. That's working it as well, because what you're doing, you're writing down your thoughts in a journal, you're making a list of the pros and cons of your day, or you're reflecting mentally. But you get to weigh out what you don't want to repeat come the next day, or what you want to enhance come the next day, or what may roll towards you and you don't want it, but you'll know how to handle it now. You'll know how to approach it or to receive it in a different frame of mind that is not going to rob you of your peace or your happiness. Because ultimately, every day that we maneuver through this thing called life, it is always your choice. That's how you work it. You know, uh, uh, that title in itself will make you think that it's about accomplishing a goal, challenging yourself to do something, opening up a business, whatever, online or an actual brick and mortar. But the thing is that when you work to feed your spirit, nurture your ego, that is also how you accelerate into where you're supposed to be, into your purpose. So, as long as you are present in your now and you are set and you're either writing it down, or you know exactly what you want to do, and you know the steps you have to take to get there. You can't run through a wall and try to cheat all of the steps, the chain of command. It isn't only for the workplace. You got you, then you got your supervisor, then you got the manager, then you got the executive director, then you got HR, however it goes. That's how you have to also work your life in the chain of command. You cannot start from the bottom and jump and reach the top. There's steps. There's steps. And sometimes those steps, it's going to be a big, like, it's going to be exhausting to try to climb over that one. Why? Because that's how it is. And that's what you want, because it builds that endurance within you. It builds that courage. It builds that strength. It gives you the energy that when you're faced with another hurdle, and then you're flowing easy and everything seems to be going good, and then bam, you hit something, you don't give up. You're like, oh, here we go again. Turn on those motors like that firecracker up your ass, and then go up to the next level. Because I can talk to you about it. The Badass Buddha can share her techniques on it, but it's totally up to you how you're going to approach all of the obstacles and all of the bright lights in your journey. It's truly up to you. So when you're going to work it, we can be aiming towards the same thing, but we're going to face different obstacles. We're going to face different problems. There's going to be many different scenarios in each of our lives, even though we're both aiming for the same thing. But again, one might jump ahead of us. One might go forward. Why? Because maybe that person knew how not to get all entangled up in the bullshit. You have to battle beautifully. And by battle beautifully, you got to choose your battles wisely. And you can't allow everything to prevent you from going there. But so if you choose happiness, guess what? There's nothing or no one, nothing said, nothing done that can rob you from that. Only you can do that. Did you hear what I was saying? You want to piggyback on any of that?
I didn't hear. I didn't take my phone with me. So I apologize. But it sounds like you were talking about happiness. You were still talking about happiness.
We're talking and about working it. Work it, girl, right? That's the title. And I was given different scenarios how working it you think is because when you get up in the morning until you finish your day that you work it there. But no, it is our 86,400 seconds in our day of every day. Whether we're going to sleep at the end of the day, reflect on what the day was, learn from whatever prevented you from accomplishing something or something that stalled your progress in that hour. Reflect so that when you go to sleep, you're sleeping better. That's all of that works into play. Healthy, because trust me, that's one thing I'm working on. That I can't sleep longer than 6 hours because then my body feels like an overcooked spaghetti with joint pains. Right? So it's all, you know what? People think that happiness is just a word. That that you sign on something or that you say, but it's not. That's like medicine. Do you agree?
Yes, I do.
It is. It's like medicine for the soul. Go ahead.
I think we struggle with the idea that we have to do the work. I think a lot of times we go in very excited about it. Oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make big changes. I'm going to make it happen this year. And I think especially that's what it is about the beginning of the year. People end the year and think about the things that they didn't do, the things that they could have done, would have, should have, could have, all that stuff. And then they look at the new year as a new beginning. Like, oh my God, I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to lose that weight. I'm going to get in shape. I'm going to make that money. I'm going to build up my business. I'm going to get a new job. I'm going to go back to school. And they have all these high hopes. And then the first 6 weeks, they're kind of working it and doing it. And then it pitters out. And it's the same thing that happens to most people is that by the middle of February, anything that they decided to quote do their New Year's resolution with, they peter out. And rather than like really looking at this and saying, okay, I'm seeing this pattern, I do this all the time, why, what do I need to do to change, what do I need to change for myself? They'll sort of say, oh, well, I couldn't do it, it was too hard, this isn't the year for me, and they sort of just wait until the next year, as opposed to saying, I could just say, let's look at it this way. Maybe this was kind of hard for me to start this month. What's a better month for me to start? Why wasn't I starting? Why didn't I stick with it? And so that's why you have to understand that doing the work is lifelong. And if that's exhausting to you, like that thought, think of it this way, that not every day is hard. Not every day has to be hard. There will be hard days, but you just know that every day you get up, you have to do the work. And the work could be, I'm going to take the day off today and I'm just going to spoil myself and give myself, like, I'm going to go get a massage. I'm going to spend time at the beach. That could be must do the work. Like that could be part of doing the work. If you're saying I'm building up my business, but I need to put X amount of time into my business. Okay, but you also need to put X amount of time into you. You need to clear your head. And especially if you are in a business that requires a lot of creativity, that requires you to think outside the box, that requires you to connect the people within like if you're the boss, like it's your business and you have people working for you, you need to take those moments to clear your mind and get past that, like to just sort of like de-stress yourself so that you could think clearly and solutions will come. And a lot of times we don't think of that as work. Well, that's not work, that's pleasure. Well, true, but it can be part of your work. But this is what ends up happening is we'll say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make these big changes. And we go. And then the other problem is that we're not doing it efficiently. We're not doing it correctly. We're not listening to our higher power telling us the direction that we need to go in. It's sort of like the idea of being in water and paddling, ridiculously against an undertow. When we're what's that called, that riptide. When you have those riptides, they'll tell you don't fight it. You're just going to make it worse. You could drown. Just let it take you. And it's counterintuitive and it's freakish because it's taking you out into a direction. Like it's pulling you out further, but what it's doing is it's pulling you out and to the side, and you just keep swimming. You just keep swimming sideways until you get out of it and you can come. And you're not struggling against the current. So a lot of times we're saying how to do the work and we're doing it incorrectly, and then we get burnt out, and then we're like, screw this, I can't do this, this is too hard. And then we go into a funk, and that funk might last a day, that funk might last days, that funk might last weeks, depends on what we allow. But then we pick ourselves back up again and say, no, I can't go this way, I have to keep going steadfast. But we lost that time. But if we're not learning from that and taking that step back and saying, okay, let me redirect, what am I doing wrong? That's why today is just the conversation about the fact that you've got to commit to yourself. You have one life. Gladys Guru has already said this. No one is going to live it for you. Nobody's going to do the work for you. They could say that they're going to help you. They could say that they're going to do the work for you. And they may, but inevitably you still have to do your own work. They can't do it for you. So you must do the work. You have to commit to yourself. And then Thursday, we're going to just give you a whole crap load of questions to ask yourself and work on to help you do the work properly and appropriately for you.
Mm-hmm. I have two things from what you said and Sylvia, because Sylvia says the ego does rear its ugly head when you keep it unnourished. When it is riddled with anxiety and fear, the ego is your enemy. But when you nurture it by cultivating self-trust and self-love, then the ego serves for what it's always supposed to be. And that's why a lot of people always talk about the ego. But you know what? When you are complete, which we never will, but when you are cultivating self, then the ego relaxes and it no longer fears the fear that we get when we don't have self-trust or self-love. Now, you said about people do. When we tell people about doing the work, you got to do the work. The word work, it's like a dirty word. That's why in my journal, one of the questions there, if you can be anything, what would you wear? Because work, whether it's inquiring within work or it's outside work, running your own business, working for somebody, if you visualize how you want to go to work dressed. See, me, I love flowy clothes. I hate my job right now, but for 3 reasons. I hate the uniform. I hate the overhead lights. I hate those lights. And I hate that I have a keypad to lock me in and out of the memory care. So I feel like I'm in prison with fluorescent lights in prison gear uniform. Okay. So what would you wear? If you learn yourself enough to know, without a doubt, you walk in the store, you're not there forever because you're already going to know where you're going to go to pick out your outfit. What is your signature? And then it's easy. You know how many people I've met that say, I don't know what I want to be. I don't know what I want to do. I've been working X amount of years and this isn't what I want, but I really don't know what I want. I would say, visualize, who are you? What do you see yourself dressed as? Because the work to work on yourself really isn't work. It's a privilege. And if you look at you understanding who you are so that you can do the things that you want to do, that's going to bring light and love and good energy to you and those around you, it's not work. It is a privilege. And it's a privilege that we throw to the side and complain that we don't have. We are all we need in this life. And if we don't learn who the hell we are, we're always going to feel that emptiness. So emptiness, without knowing who you are, it's always going to create unhappiness, is always going to create a thirst and a hunger for something you're unaware of. So you become a glutton. You eat your pain away, you eat your sorrows away, you eat your loneliness away, or you're drinking. And the thing is, just get to know who the hell you are at everything. And then, I'm sorry, I was reading Sylvia's thing. So the work, like we were saying, it's not work. She mentioned also the Badass Buddha did about New Year's resolutions and how they lose their ear, the balloon falls to the ground in February. That's it. No energy, no nothing. The whole year goes by and you're still wishing, right? Do what we did. Split your year in quarters. How phenomenal since January has Viva Cafe con Leche been? Go ahead in the comments. How phenomenal have we been? We broke it up in quarters. I have learned so much of the damn shows that we have been putting on. And I feel like I'm with you guys. Hi, Natasha. Hi, Jessica Robles. I feel like I'm there. Like I'm with you, the tribe, learning all of this all over again. That's how phenomenal I felt this has been. Because the way we broke it down in quarters, it's easier to digest. And then you can think about it. You reminisce. You reflect. You start saying, oh, okay, I'm going to do this. And hopefully that's what's been happening with you guys. Before you know it, you've been writing stuff down. You have been making lists. You have been working your life according to you. Because I know I have. The Badass Buddha and I had a conversation the other day. And I said, I have relearned so much more in this type of platform now than reading the books and actually speaking to people about this. Because now I am not only speaking it, I'm reading it, I'm also listening to it. And the comments that you write have also helped. So
Yeah.
if anybody, nobody responded. But I'm saying that, you know what? Life is, it's whatever kind of car you are, driving in your lane. No traffic, no accidents. In your lane, focused on the driver. And you're taking it all in, all the sights you're driving by, all the sounds you're listening to. You're taking it all in and you're learning what you like, what you don't like, what you may need, what you need to eliminate from your life, what you need to maybe add a little more sazon to your life. And that's how you go. And it is, Sylvia said, baby steps. It is always baby steps. But remember, as I was saying with the staircase, that staircase is there waiting for you to start climbing, but it's not always going to be there.
But I want to say something about baby steps too, though. It is always baby. It's not always baby steps, because when you feel that you can take a bigger step, it's just like you said, climbing the steps. You could be climbing one step at a time, but every so often you're like, you know what? I'm going to skip a step. Like I'm just going to pull myself up and skip a step. If you feel like you can do it, then do it. That's the point. Is this is your life. If you're looking at it going, oh, I got to take, I'm taking too long, so because I'm taking baby steps and you're getting frustrated with yourself, just stop for a minute and then ask yourself, is it necessary for me to keep taking the baby steps, or am I getting in my own way? Can I just go ahead and let me take a big leap? Let me, like when you were kids, when you would be outside and you would be like finding things to do, and you would do like jumping games. You'd be like, oh, we're gonna put a marker here and let's see how far you can jump. Like, and everybody get into a line, and you would stand there and you would just leap, and then they'd mark it, and then you try to get further than that. That is a competition within ourselves that we need to do. Challenge yourself. If you are going at a slower pace and you're getting a little frustrated by the pace, sit with it for a moment and review it. Ask yourself, is this slow pace necessary right now? Can I go a little faster? What would I need to do to go a little faster? And then be very aware of it. So let's say, no, I could try to go a little faster. So you go a little faster, you take bigger steps, but then you start to see that things are getting a little out of control. You have to be aware. Then you have to say, okay, wait, I got to slow it down a little bit, because maybe I'm not quite ready at this speed or these steps, or maybe I just need to take a couple of big steps and then go back to the small steps. That's the whole that we started this whole year with awareness. And we're only talking about your own self-awareness. Yes, you want to be aware of your surroundings, no doubt. But what we're really talking about here is your own awareness of self. And your awareness will change. I shouldn't say that. Let me say this. Your awareness can grow, but what you see changes. So you are not the same person that you were when you first started that awareness back in January. You change, okay? And so that's why you always have to be self-aware. You always have to check in with yourself to see where you are at this point. Because here's the other thing. If you're looking at it now at the end of April, and there hasn't been much of a change since January, then you need to ask yourself the hard questions. Why not? If you had every intention of being here today, or being in this whole year-long adventure with us, and you committed to yourself in January, and you're not seeing, when you reflect back, you're not seeing much of a change, then the question is coming in is, why not? Are you doing the work? Are you answering the questions? And if our questions aren't enough for you, seek out other questions.
Yes.
See if it stimulates you to find another book. The one thing, I have a love-hate relationship with Big Brother. We are watched all the time. You go onto a site, Google's watching you, YouTube's watching you, everybody's watching you. And then they start sending you recommendations based on what what you like. I have a love-hate relationship with that. Sometimes I love it because, yes, it does make things a little bit easier. And then I'm like, you know what, that's a good idea. I do like that. But other times I'm like freaked out by it. It's like, please just leave me alone. Stop marketing to me. But with YouTube, one thing I've learned with YouTube is, when I started to watch a really powerful personal development video, I'd watch another one, and they started tracking, so they started putting up, oh, on the side, here's a recommendation, and some of them were absolutely fabulous. That's how I actually, learned about other people, listened to other stuff. It's nice to hear it from, you can hear the same thing from 5 different people and hear it 5 different ways.
Yes.
But until it gets into your head. So that's the type of stuff that I like. That's the type of stuff that, it's leading me. So just because we said it, we asked questions, maybe they're not quite resonating with you yet, then find some more questions, and then maybe go back to our questions. Maybe you just weren't ready for our questions just yet, but you got to do the work. You can't just sit there and listen. I was talking to a friend of mine, and then I'll stop talking, Gladiator Guru, but I was talking to a friend of mine, and I love her. She's just such an awesome person. I'm so grateful to have her in my life. We had lost touch for a while, and then we're back connected again, and she's a wonderful professional. And she and I are in this gratitude circle together. She started in October when they first started it, and I jumped on in February. And we were talking about the gratitude circle, and she said, I really love it. She goes, but this is going to be the last month. I'm going to end it because it's monthly. And if you ever want information on it, it's great. We meet 9 to 9:15 every single day, and we go over the magic from Rhonda Byrne, and we do the exercises. So she said, yeah, this is going to be the last time I'm going to do it, because it's really just, it's not, it was wonderful. She's like, but it's not, she goes, I just really listen to it in the background while I'm getting ready in the morning and getting ready for work. She's like, but I'm not doing the exercises. And I stopped for a second. And in my head, I'm going, these are 28 days of exercises. And in my head, I'm thinking, what's the point of doing the circle if you're not going to do the exercises? I could see if maybe you miss a day here and there, but if you've been doing it since October, and I wasn't knocking her, because I had to look at it myself. I had to say to myself, am I committing? The whole point of doing it together is for the accountability piece.
Mm-hmm.
And if I still cannot be accountable, even when doing it with a group, I really need to work on myself, because this is an easy thing. It's gratitude. You put, sometimes it takes you like 20 minutes to do the exercise. Sometimes it's 5 minutes, but you put in the effort. So I listened to her and not judging her. I listened to her and I took a step back and said, I don't want to be that person. Like, I don't want to be the person that says I'm doing this, but I'm not really doing this. And I got to tell you, I've been and still struggle being that person. I will put in the work and then I slack. Then I put in the work and then I slack. And I want to be that person that consistently puts in the work, especially for myself, but consistently puts into the work, makes it an effort every single day, learning something new, growing, understanding, and reflecting. So that really hit me. There was a little part of me that sat there and said to like within me, like my heart said, I wish you would do the work. Like, this is what I'm saying to my friends. I wish you would do the work. I wish you would make the time to do the work, because this is such a big piece of us. It's gratitude, but with no judgment. She's not ready to do the work every single day.
But she introduced many to it. So she did some of the work.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know if she shared it with anybody. She might have. I don't know.
How many of you were on this gratitude shit?
No, she's just a person. She's not the host.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I told her about what happened. Was I connected her with the person that runs it. She's a business coach. And then because she offers like a free consultation, like review of your business.
Oh, I thought you were talking
I connected her to the business coach, and then the business coach told her about the gratitude circle, and she signed right up for it.
Oh, okay.
So, but I'm sure she's probably talked about it with other people. I don't know if anybody's come on as a result of her.
Oh no, I was asking because I thought it was the lady. But yeah, we're coming to a close. Hola, Milagro, ¿cómo está, mi amor? But I just wanted to go back. When you use the word work, it is a bad word. It leaves a bad taste in our mouths. It already makes me exhausted just by hearing the word. Work means slaving. That's what I like. People like, what do you do for work? And I was like, I was not
You.
born for work, darling. You know?
But that's what you believe. See, I don't believe that it's slaving. I don't look at it that way.
Yeah, but I'm the one talking. I'm not saying that's your belief. But what I'm saying is, so don't look at it as work. Look at it as improvement. Like work, you go to work 9 to 5, you earn a paycheck. I think you gotta, I think when you're right, when you said that in the beginning, I was trying to formulate what we can associate that with. When we say we gotta do the work, it does. That's like, yeah, oh my god, I'm already tired. um Look at it as an improvement. That's an opportunity that many do not have, and I can't stress that enough. So we have to fall in love with ourselves, mi gente. We have to we have to start that very intimate love affair. We have to court ourselves. We have to go and take ourselves out on dates. We have to learn that it's okay to go to a coffee shop and sit down and people watch. We have to have a relationship with ourselves in order to realize what we need to improve on, what we need to eliminate, and what we need to organize and archive for future references. So if you don't like the word work, I don't even like
Well,
working.
here, I quickly looked up synonyms for it. So you have act, function, operate, go, run, work on, process, exercise, make, bring, play, uh, wreak. That's interesting. Make for, cultivates. Cultivate's a nice word. I love that word.
Mm-hmm.
Crop, influence, act upon, shape, form, mold, need, solve, figure out,
Mm-hmm. That's what I said.
prevent. I mean, I don't know if I agree with some of these. Lick. How's
No,
lick?
not all of them, but the gist of it is,
Lick is one of them. Should we say that? Lick it.
yeah, like
You must do the lick.
just if you need to, you know, change the word so that it doesn't sound intimidating or threatening, just fall in love with yourself. And then ask yourself, I dedicate my time to show up someone else's job for 8 hours a day. And then I come home and I cook for the family. And then I do this and I do that. And then I have like a window of maybe 30 minutes. And that's like maybe including my shower before I pass out and then start all over again. So then question yourself, when in that day at your peak, not at anybody else's peak hour, but at your peak, are you going to be present for yourself? Because it is in those moments that you learn who the hell you are. You learn what it is that you need, what are you lacking, and what you want to invite into your life. You know, you have to be present in your life. And I don't want you to say, oh, but I need to improve this because I don't have this. And no, all I'm telling you is look in the mirror, remind yourself how much you love yourself, fall in love with yourself, take yourself out on a date, treat yourself to something. I don't care if it's a vanilla cone with butterscotch on it. Am I craving that? I don't know. But what I'm saying is, you have to learn all over who you are because you gave up on yourself when you invited people to love. When your heart opened up to love people, you pushed yourself aside. So now you were there for them, but you weren't there for you. And now you got to start that whole process. You can be there for them while being there for you. I don't know at what point did we think we had to cease to exist in order to be available to everybody else. And I think that's why now we got to go back and fix what got all tangled up. You're not broken. You're just tangled up like that ball of yarn. So now you got to go back and unravel yourself in order to get to the core of you, which just going forward, just stay present. And then you can see how you can be available to everybody else. Because you're not a martyr. You're not like Captain Save-A-Ho and everybody's going to bow down to you because you gave up on your life to be there for everybody else's. That never made sense to me. It's not selfish. It's just human nature. It's your spirit needs you to constantly be present for yourself so that then you can be of service to others. But without you being centered for yourself, you can't be there. You're a liar. You're giving false hopes because you're empty here. So what can you possibly be giving? I'm not calling anybody a liar. I'm just speaking.
Well,
So be present for yourself. Fall in love with yourself. Yesterday at work, one of the young girls asked me if I was in a relationship. I said, absolutely. I am without a doubt unapologetically committed to myself. And that felt so good to say because I am. That's where I'm at right now in my life. Do I have those bad moments? Of course. We're going to have moments in our day. But Sylvia said something really good, and then we got to close out because I am tired. Sylvia, did you read that one, Laura? This one?
No, you can read it.
Your ego is the self-image. The first step to empower the self-image. Shift the beliefs which are motivated by fear, anger, resentment, judgment, painful trauma to love, joy, gratefulness, and grace. Absolutely. That's why in my article, which I'm hoping Spiritual Healing accepts it, but it talks about that. Feed your spirit, kindness and gratitude, nurture your ego to expel anxiety and fear. Love your body exactly where it's at. You don't have to be content where it is, but love it through the process. If you can love your body with all the chichos and the fupas and, the big breast, thinking you have big breasts, but it's just because it has a little fat on it, then you can love you who made all those mistakes in your yesterday because you didn't know better or you were unaware. And that helps you navigate closer to being complete with who you are. And then continue on your legacy. That's for not to say the word work. That's such a bad word today. So, it's all about you to be about you. And that's it. And if you're willing to love you, then you're willing to do anything. You can journey and you're going to enjoy the journey that when you reach the destination, it's not going to feel like you've arrived, like you're complete, like it's done. So just keep up with the journey. Just keep journeying toward yourself. To Middle Earth, right here. Okay, I'm done.
All right. Well, thanks everybody.
Oh, I love that you wrote that. Yeah.
Thanks everybody for coming on today. And like we said, Thursday, asking the right questions. We're going to give you a list of questions starting from the questions that we asked in January. So in case you have not been working on them, this is your chance to catch up. That's all we're going to go over. We're going to go over questions and we're going to go over the importance of the questions. And we're going to list them and we're going to post them on the comments and you're going to write them down. So bring a pen and paper so that you can start working on these if you have not done so already. And then from there, you can take those questions because we're going to add more questions. And then you can ask other questions. You can have offshoots of those questions. This is about you. What we didn't think of, you may think of that helps you grow. So join us on Thursday because it is the last Thursday of the month of understanding and capabilities. And then we're going to start on next week is all about beliefs. So thank you for coming, everybody. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
And thank you. Sylvia said, take a bow, ladies. And from the Gladiator Guru, mi gente, remember to breathe in the beauty. and breathe out the bullshit. Namaste.